Hello and welcome to the Masonic Authors Guild International. This is Robert L.D. Cooper with Mark A. Tabert. We are Magi. Our mission is to promote the highest standards in education, research and publications relating to the global phenomenon of Freemasonry. Since Magi launched in February 2024, we have produced more than 275 hours of recorded programs, including historical papers, academic interviews, book reviews, and unabridged audiobooks. Most of these programs are now available through Patreon, Spotify, Apple, and other podcast platforms.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today is December 1st, 2025, and we are delighted to announce the launch of our new season, new format, and new subscription scheme. Starting next Monday, December 8th, Magi will begin alternating weekly podcasts between audio academic papers and interviews of academic historians. True to our name and mission, we will deliver international papers by Professor Gerard Carruthers in Scotland, Dr. Robert James in Australia, Professor Kenyo Ishmael in Brazil, as well as others from around the world. These will be available on alternating weeks. We believe that it is the most ambitious, sustained schedule of Masonic scholarship ever produced in audio. What follows are clips from our January 2026 podcast with Professor Christopher Thomas's dissertation on the Nazi Party and Freemasonry in Germany, and the second clip is a sample from our interview and discussion with Professor Thomas. Freemasonry and Nazis are two of the most popular subjects in popular and academic literature. Yet exploration of where the two intersect beyond esoteric connections and intellectual roots have received little attention. Since the end of World War II, articles and books have concentrated on persecution of and resistance by Freemasons. Then in the late 1990s, researchers began challenging the picture of Freemasons as holy victims, finding that they often showed complacency and even willing cooperation with the regime. But in addition to creating a victim/collaborator tug of war, this discrepancy says something about pragmatism, compromise, agency, and the ability of officials to act outside of established policy in the Third Reich, as well as how men who belong to a targeted group could end up serving in some of the regime's highest offices.
When you're asking a Freemason, why did you join the lodges? Do you consider yourself a loyal, faithful German? Of course, they're going to say yes, but how do you actually determine it? So then they start saying, all right, well, what if we say they only were in the lodge for so many years? Or what if they joined after a certain date? Or, is there a way we can have really concrete points, concrete criteria that the person in question either meets or they don't? If they have these qualifications, we can just disqualify them. But if they don't have these, then maybe we might be open to something. And there was always an exception that threw the policy right out the window. And the one that I found that was the most fascinating is at one point, the Nazis tried to just do a blanket no. I said, if you've ever been a member of a lodge, doesn't matter for how long, the answer is no. And there was this one case, this gentleman who submitted an appeal, and he said, I joined the lodges at the request of the party to be an infiltrator. So the whole reason why I'm in the lodges was for you. And now you're saying because I was a member, I'm now kicked out of the party that I was already in.
Hi everyone, Magi Cooper here. Next Monday begins our new season with the first long paper, Geoffrey Markham's Some Problems with English Masonic History, which was published in 1997. A respected English barrister, Markham provides a solid analytical foundation for the first interview on the 15th of December, which sees the return of Professor John Dickie, author of The Craft, How Freemasons Made the Modern World, to discuss Masonic secrecy. Here is a clip from that interview.
My approach to Masonic secrecy is the basic anthropological idea that its function is a boundary drawing function. Its purpose is to draw a line between two communities. And in this way, in this sense, it works very much like the rituals, the rites of passage that mark entry to Freemasonry. Like all rites of passage, these are about creating a new sense of identity, a new self, a new state of being, and a new sense of membership of a community, of a, whatever it might be, the community of adults, the community of Catholics, that's what all initiation rituals do. And secrecy does that, but adds more power to it, if you like. It creates a boundary between outsiders who are curious and suspicious about the secrecy, and insiders who know seemingly what the secret is, who are the possessors of the secrets and who seemingly know what it's all about. So my point here is that the misunderstanding that Masonic secrecy has always generated, is a feature, not a bug, of Masonic secrecy. It's not something that you've just misunderstood it. The purpose of Masonic secrecy is so that Masons can go, you see, they've just misunderstood it. We're the only ones who can speak, talk about this. That's key.
But this is just the beginning. Each week, student-level subscribers will be able to listen to or download either an academic-level Masonic paper or an interview of these scholars. They include Professor Rob Collis, Professor Nathalie Baer, both at Drake University, Pierre Molière of France, Professor Jessica Harlan Jacobs at the University of Florida, Professor Amy Flugrad-Jaxis at the University of Toledo, and Dr. Wendy Wazit-Barrett, who is the expert on 19th century American Freemasonry's embrace of the theatre arts. Along the way, Magi will continue to release occasional free programs, such as Cooper on the Case, short book reviews, and any ideas that take our fancy. There's some interesting listening ahead for our subscribers.
To continue this ambitious and sustained work, we offer 3 revised subscription levels. The Observer level has no changes and includes short subjects and periodic academic programs. The Engage level at $5 a month adds selected long-form papers and chapters from our published books, American Freemasons, 3 Centuries of Building Communities by Magi Tabert, and both Cracking the Freemasons Code and The Knights Templars in Scotland, The Making of a Myth by Magi Cooper. The student level at $10 a month grants access to the complete archive of full-length scholarly interviews and audiobooks, as well as every major new release. Along with the new format and new subscription levels, we are updating and improving our Magi website by adding more reference information, recommendations, and in particular, downloadable PDFs of papers by the scholars we interview. But more important, we are excited to launch our Magi newsletter. It will be edited by Philippa Lee, a Masonic author and former editor of the Square magazine. The newsletter will include transcripts, podcast schedules, announcements, and other Masonic information. Lastly, we are exploring and developing merchandise, other benefits, and greater subscription levels that will provide not simply longer podcasts, but exclusive access to Masonic education, research, and assistance, and other innovative ideas. We are developing group subscription options for academic departments and research lodges. Those interested should make contact now to be included in the first offerings of these rates.
Join us now, and those who take the first step will gain access to audio programs that cannot be found anywhere else. New student supporters during this release period will also receive an exclusive digital edition of one of our forthcoming papers, available only to early members. Because we cannot contact you directly, you are invited to subscribe whilst these benefits are available. We ask you to please support this educational initiative by subscribing today, sharing our work, and helping us bring serious Masonic scholarship to the craft, academia, and the wider world. To each and every one of you, we Magi say thank you, good luck, and Godspeed.